Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator, and today we are back in the Just Flight's PA-28R Aero 3 by Piper. We're going to do a quick VFR flight, well, not too quick, but we're going to make a flight from San Diego, California down to San Luis in Mexico. I figured that'd be kind of a fun flight, branch out a little bit. Shouldn't be too bad. We're looking at about, let's see here, about 120 miles. Shouldn't be too bad. Should be a little bit of fun. We're flying through a little bit of a restricted area, but they'll never even know we were there, right? So, anyway, first thing we're going to do is going to jump in the cockpit, and we're going to set up a couple of custom camera views. I figured I'd walk you guys through that, maybe give you some different ideas on how you'd like to set up your cameras, and then we'll get the aircraft started and get out of here. So, without further ado, there it is. Let's jump in. Alright, so we're taxiing over to runway 27 at San Diego. Anti-collision lights are on, landing lights turning on. Can't remember what that last one is. What's that last one? Oh, the pitot heat. Yeah, that'd be important. Okay. Even with that big prop though, man, you just really got to let go of the brakes and off she goes, so I guess that makes sense, huh? San Diego really is pretty. Alright, getting ready to take the runway here. Let's see how much of the pre-flight I can remember. So we're going to stop here. Set that parking brake. Go to 2,000 RPMs. Left magneto. Wait, no, you're supposed to go, sorry. Both. And right magneto. Both. Oil pressure, amps are good. I thought there was one where you had to turn the alternator. Turn the alternator off, right? I'll have to go back and remember the pre-flight. I don't want to waste you guys' time. Or the run-up, not the pre-flight. Bring her back down. Release that parking brake. Set flaps 1 for takeoff. Verify that actually worked. That did not. Oh, it's not bound to this profile. There we go. Alright. Alright. Taking the runway here. I used my 3D printer today and printed a Piper throttle handle. It's pretty cool for the Bravo throttle quadrant. I like it. Okay, so here we go. I remember that darn right rudder this time. For 65 knots for rotation. It's just weird because that right rudder just like sort of happens. Oh gosh, I passed my airspeed. Alright, wheels up. Maintain climb rate for 100 knots if memory serves. And once we've cleared 300 feet, fuel pump off. I think it was 1,000 feet for flaps up. Start trimming that nose up. Turn for our first leg of 077. Yeah, this plane really fights you more than most. And that's a good thing. I have no complaints about that. It's neat. It's definitely a completely different experience from any other plane that I've flown in the simulator. I think it's also 1,000 feet so that we can lose the landing lights. Trying to watch that HSI, it's a little hard to see. I do believe the interior lights aren't quite functioning yet. No, that's 090, okay. Oh, come on. Too far, too far. Go ahead and trim the mixture back. Pull throttle back for 2300 RPMs. Or 2,300 pounds of manifold pressure, I think is what it was, right? And bring the prop back. 2,000. Ah, and watch as I come off course. Fantastic. I should have my track IR fixed this weekend, so can't come soon enough. Alright, so let's try out the autopilot here. Autopilot mode on. This is the heading bug. Should be able to set that. There we go, just about there. Reset that camera I broke. There we go. Now what is that? Auto extension off? Is that normal? I don't know what that is. I've never seen that. I didn't pay attention to that last time. Alright, so let's see here. What is this? Heading, nav. Localizer? Oh. What's going on here? There it goes. Now it looks like it's steering towards. Alright. And I'm assuming you just have to trim for altitude? Or is this the autopilot right here? No. Airspeed, nautical miles, that's to... Oh, no, okay. Alright. Waypoint, route, auto store, go to, message. Now I'm thinking it doesn't have an altitude hold, which is fine and possible. Honestly, I don't know. But let's go ahead and trim it down. This thing keeps you busy, that's for sure. You know, I think this is the part that I'm going to be the most nervous about when it comes to getting my pilot's license is flying cross-country, VFR. I mean, I prefer to learn an aircraft like this, you know, without all the bells and whistles. You know, at the same token, that's terrifying, because if something goes south, I mean, yeah, you can have your flight pads and things like that. I know, what's that real popular app? It's like $100 a month. I can't remember what it's called now. Anyway, I know there are applications you can get through like Verizon and things like that that you know, give you your GPS and things, but you know, that's sort of the whole point, is that I want to learn without the GPS. But I mean, 1 degree off over 40 miles, I mean, man, that could be pretty significant. And then if the weather changes like we're seeing here, you know, the clouds finally start to break a little bit, I was getting a little worried. But I don't know, I guess that's the terrifying part for me, is thinking about what that's going to be like. It's got to be really nerve-wracking the first time. Let's turn the autopilot off. I want to fly it. I still don't know what that light is. I feel like that should be extinguished. I hope I'm not missing something critical, because I really don't remember seeing that. Anyway. Gonna trim her back out. This is a really awesome plane to fly. It really requires you to fly it, and I know I said that earlier, but I think it really makes a difference, you know. I mean, especially as someone who's interested in looking for an aircraft to learn off of, I think this is a really good start. Definitely a step in the right direction for study level simulation. Definitely. Ooh. It's getting bouncy. Well, guys, I'm going to keep battling this out, fighting our course here until we get to our next leg. I try to create as much breaks in the video as I can, because I know they can get pretty long and hard to stick through, so just like anything else. So I'm gonna just keep fighting my way through this, trying to maintain. She's a fighter. And then I'll catch you guys when we reach the first leg. Alright? So I'll see you guys in a few here. Alright guys, so hopefully the track IR stays with me. These windmills are our first leg. Let me double check this here. We got windmills here. I don't see anything before that. Well, there's those right there. Do we have a road running right through those? Oh, yeah, I guess we do. Alright, so, never mind. Almost to the first leg. So the next set of windmills, we will be making our turn. It really does make a difference when this track IR works. Really enhances the experience, especially for VFR. I don't mind flying the airliners without it, like the A320. You know, I mean, it's cool on taxi. But outside of that, it's really not necessary. But not having it in the VFR flights, oh my gosh, it's brutal. How is that the center view? There we go. And why am I flying off course again? That's why I'm rebuilding this track IR. It's like it gets into these weird camera views and I spend half the flight fighting the camera. Anyway. Gosh, man, every time I try to trim this thing out, I just end up in more trouble here. What's going on here? Manifold pressure still looks good. I'm trimming nose down, which is crazy. Wait a minute, those had to have been... Because that ridge, that canyon... Son of a gun, that was it. Okay. Alright, so making a turn 105 degrees. Bug. Darn it. And this is why I hate Zoom. Alright, let's get back on track here. Alright, so from here we should be steady until we reach a large lake. So even if we're slightly off course, we should be able to pick this out pretty easily. Shouldn't be too bad. So this is our next visual waypoint here. So as long as we stay relatively on course, next 35 miles, we should be alright. It shouldn't be a hard one to pick out. Yeah, this aircraft, I know I've said it, but I want to keep reiterating as I have been flying it a while now. I know I keep saying the words, you gotta fly it, but you gotta fly it, man. I'm constantly having to adjust my trim, having to watch my airspeed, having to watch my heading. What I don't see, maybe you guys can help me out, maybe it's different in this plane, I'm looking for something I should, oh gosh, it's right there in front of my face. I was looking for the slide step indicator. Oh my gosh, never mind. Mercy, I am... Ooh, it's Friday, right? I mean, it's gonna be. Today's Thursday, I know, but, you know, it's gonna be Friday. Because apparently this week has taken its toll. Because I am just, like, brain dead right now. Like, how did I miss that? I really do try to take these seriously, and that's why, like, you know, things like ATC and things like that, I don't do until I get comfortable. And it's just because it gets harder to set it up in the sim. You know, I think in many ways, I'm willing to bet simulation's harder than the real thing. You know, dealing with the mouse, dealing with headsets and track IRs and controls and screen resolution and, you know, things like that. I think in many ways, simulation, I think, is good practice to keep you busy. You know, if you take it legitimately. And we're going to get Pilot to ATC fired back up here, I think, on the next one. I don't want to do too many without it. I don't want to get out of practice. And my goal is next month, before I start my ground schools, to switch over to Pilot Edge. Now I know they have certain operating hours, so the videos will be coming out probably a day after. Oh, excuse me, a day after I do the recording, but you guys will still be able to see that. Oh my gosh, today is Friday, isn't it? Tomorrow is Saturday. Yes, just looked at the date. Tomorrow. Oh yeah. There we go. There's a decent trim. Alright. And I think there's our gigantic lake. Right out there. Is that a lake or is that the Gulf? That's a lake, okay. I was going to say, I didn't think we were flying down that low, but damn, that's a big lake. Awesome, so we're right on track here. A little off course, not too bad. We should be, well, it would help if I was on the right heading again. But so, ideally the way it plotted us, we'd be right about like that, cross over it, and then turn inland. But not too bad, so a couple degrees off, but this will help get us on track. So when we get to the lake, I will be back with you guys, and see you guys in a minute. So a little example of how I need to get better looking at sky vector. There's the windmills that I was looking for initially. So I hadn't turned too early, I turned right on time. But it looks like as I was a little off course. They were out of my visible range. Oh wait, never mind. Looking at sky vector, no, those were the second set. So I'll pull sky vector up here for a second. Looks like those windmills are what we just flew over. So no, those first ones were the ones we were supposed to turn at. Alright. Never mind. Never mind. Alright, so we are ready to make our next turn. Choosing that heading hold again, and this time we're going to go to 083 degrees. I'll be fighting that crosswind here for a bit again. But this is the final leg. From here we're looking for our airport, so I'll see you guys when I have it in sight. Something tells me I'm going to be fighting for my life on this one. Alright, so we just turned on to our final bearing. Apparently I had one more in there. So we're on a heading of about 061 degrees, and we're looking for a runway that should be off our right wing as the final get some stuttering on top of everything else. Ooh, there it is. Okay, which means now we should be basically headed right for the San Luis runway, which is where we want to be. Pull some throttle back. Start our descent here. Stuttering is so bad. What do you guys think? Like a runway to you? Sure looks like a runway to me. Looks like we made it. Man, this thing's fighting me this whole darn way. My arm is literally tired from this thing fighting me. I used the autopilot for a little while, but I was really trying to refrain. According to the slip indicator, it's not like we're slipping, we're just turning. I haven't touched any aileron trim or anything like that that I can think of. I don't even know if this thing has aileron trim. I've seen vertical and rudder, but I haven't seen any aileron trim on it. Unless it's on the yoke. Maybe that's it? I don't know. Looks like that might just be a mic switch, but I can't tell. I haven't really looked to see what's in front of them. I feel like this is probably the best approach. Darn it. But I think we're going to go around, do a full circuit here. Going for a left-hand traffic pattern. fuel pump back on, turn the landing lights back on. Shake some of this altitude off. We're going to be descending through the whole pattern. There's that stupid stuttering again. Yeah, they really bonked something up, man. Stuttering is super bad since this last patch. I was flying the A320 yesterday and it was just horrible. Really tough to handle. Looking for about 2,000 feet. So we got about 1,000 to go here. It's a big airport. A little tiny runway. Baby, trim out. Gosh, this thing is just taking a beating up here. So we're getting ready to turn the downwind or the crosswind. Trying to maintain pattern altitude here. Flaps 1. Mixture and prop back to full. Oh, flaps 2 and gear down. Come on, baby, pick up. Get that nose up. Get that nose up. Stay with me, girl. Lot to practice with this plane. Lot to practice. And that's crazy. So even on this side, I'm still getting pulled to the right. Like, man, if I didn't know any better, I'm telling you, I would think this thing had aileron trim, but I don't. And if it does, I wouldn't know where to begin to look for it. I haven't touched anything that would resemble aileron trim. But man, it sure fight me like it does. And it's always to the right. The whole flight's bend to the right, bend to the right. Unless that's really just the engine torque, in which case maybe I need more rudder trim. I didn't think about trimming the rudders out. That didn't seem to help. Oh, I went the wrong way. Yeah, no, now it's slipping. Interesting. I don't know. I suppose the approach is a bad time to play around with that, but it is what it is. There's the end of our runway. We got a ways to go here. So, full flaps. Pretty good rollout, if you ask me. I didn't think that was bad. Gosh darn, man. This thing's gonna fight me all the way to the ground. Like I said, man, I can't help. This feels like aileron trim. Like, I cannot let go of this. Oh, you know what it is? I just realized it. It's not centering with my yoke. I wonder if I need to recalibrate my yoke. Look at where the yoke's position is in the sim. Well, actually, it's a little to the left, isn't it? Okay. 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 Easy, girl. Like a pillow. Like a pillow. All right. We made it. Whew. And welcome to Mexico. Alright, well, aside from her fighting me the whole time, let's check this out for a second. We're just going to stop her here. I'm not worried about it. And I want to see something. No? No, it's responding as I would expect. It was just... Man, it fought me with right aileron the whole way here. That's why I engaged the autopilot. My initial plan was not to use the autopilot. I didn't want to. I wanted to fly her. But, man, she wasn't having it today. we exit the runway. Beetle hoot off. Heading light, beacon, and fuel pumps. And we clean up the aircraft. Oop. Okay. Well, like I said, there's a lot to learn when flying this plane, and I could have used the navigation. We could have entered waypoints, and just it's not what I want to do. I want to start practicing for the real thing. So when I fly this one, and I specify this one because I stand firm. I think it's the best model right now for Microsoft Flight Simulator to practice VFR flying or general aviation flying. And you know, and that's the drag, right? And that's not drag. Again, that's kudos to Just Flight. I mean, they've just done a fantastic job with this aircraft. It's absolutely wonderful, and I think it's worth every penny of it. But what I meant by the drag is that, you know, you have so many really good flight models in like X-Plane 11, but you can't top the VFR ability that is offered with Microsoft Flight Simulator. All right, let's get that parking brake set. Okay, give me a second so I can crack my neck. Camera's gonna go crazy. Oh, okay, that was a good one. Okay, now let's get this beauty shut down here. Well, that's our So we're just gonna pull that mixture back. The engine should terminate, right? All right, we can pull that prop back. Turn the magnetos off. I don't know why it does that. Turn the alternator off. Beacon light. Battery. I hate that it does this. Bring up our pad here and get her tied down. And let's get out of here. All right, well, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this flight. I found it to be a lot of fun. It's definitely educational. There's a ton to this plane, and I think that you guys are really going to enjoy doing some VFR flying with it. Definitely practice, do your research on how to do some of these flights, and then try it in this one, because it's a challenge. It's absolutely challenging. It fights you on takeoff. It fights you on landing. You really got to be on point when flying this plane, and I think it's the first one of general aviation, Microsoft Flight Simulator, that you can say that with. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Let me know what your thoughts on it are, especially if you've been flying it, and what your thoughts are in comparison to some of the other aircraft. Maybe there's another aircraft that you think that's similar behavior. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Stay safe, stay healthy, have a wonderful weekend, and I'll catch you in the next one.